Two teams on completely different paths meet in South Florida tonight. Miami, winless in its last 6, is desperate for a spark, while red-hot El Paso looks to keep things full steam ahead. It's USL Championship action with El Paso Locomotive and Miami FC. Hello everyone, with former Manchester United goalkeeper Gary Bailey. I'm David Gascon. Gary, we look at the Eastern Conference standings, and Miami right now is in an uncomfortable spot. They still have time to go, though.
They do. 12 matches, every one of finals, says Gaston Modoni. But if they win here today, they go to 22 points, potentially into that 6th spot in the playoffs. So super tight in the East.
Miami's winless in its last 6, and it's probably the worst time of the year to fall into a slump. How can they recover?
Well, they've got to stop conceding so many goals. They've conceded the 3rd most goals in the East. And they're the 2nd lowest scorers other than Bonfiglio. Nobody else seems to be good in front of goals. So they've got a problem at both ends of the pitch. But again, if they turn that around, they can shoot up the table.
Out west, things are good for El Paso. Even though they're in the middle of the pack, can they achieve higher marks?
Well, certainly with a win. Look how they jump over Sacramento Republic and San Antonio. 2 points clear if they can get the 3 points here tonight.
Locomotive last match was a punishing one against Las Vegas. Dare I say it was lights out for the opposition. Gary, El Paso put 6 goals on the board. 5 different players scored in that contest.
Biggest win in club history, and El Paso joint top scorers in the West. They have talent absolutely everywhere. They play the ball to feed. Everybody seems to be dangerous in attack. That's why they're so happy, El Paso.
Our tale of the tape gives us 2 of the top 4 scorers in the league. And the race is on for the Golden Boot, Gary. But looking at this measurement here, who has had the more impressive season?
Difficult to pick between them. What you can say is Bonfiglio has been the only real goal scorer. The next after him has only got 2 goals, so they've relied totally on him. They haven't had to rely so much on Andy Cabrera, El Paso, because they have a bunch of other goal scorers. But to be fair, they are both wonderful strikers in the USL.
Starting 11 and first touch is right around the corner, and 3 points are huge for Miami. Up next is El Paso Locomotive and Miami FC coming at you next.
Some people think Miami is just flamingos and palm trees.
And hell yes, we have badass sunsets.
But Miami's Little Havana,
Doral,
Little Haiti,
Hialeah,
Wynwood, Coconut Grove,
Kendall,
Calle Ocho,
Sweetwater,
Homestead,
cortaditos y coladas
empanadas y croquetas.
is so much more. This is the 305.
This is who we really are. This is what we are all about.
I am Latino.
I'm a disruptor.
I am LGBTQ.
I am a villain.
I am a mother.
I am Haitian.
I am an athlete.
I am an activist.
I am a king.
I am an American dream.
I am the future.
I am
Miami
FC.
No one was born a hero. It's an everyday journey. There are no shortcuts, no days off, no perfect scenarios. Things won't always go the way you expect. But overcoming challenges is part of the game too. Your time is now. When passion runs through you, become your own hero.
This portion of the broadcast is brought to you by Doral Kia. Drive for less, drive Doral. Bon Bon Boom, suck at something. Macron, become your own hero. And Baptist Health. Starting 11 for Miami FC, led by head coach Gaston Modoni, is a 4-3-3. We look at the top of the pitch, Alan Gavilanes.
Yeah, 2 changes to the team that lost in Hartford. Felipe Rodriguez comes in for the suspended Bolu Akinyode, and Gavilanes in for Lucas Milano, who drops to the bench. All eyes on Gavilanes out wide and Bonfilio up front.
Gavilanes has not scored a goal this season for Miami. For El Paso and head coach Wilmer Cabrera, a 4-3-3, Gabby Torres in the middle of the pitch.
No changes to the team that thumped Las Vegas 6-0. And why would you make any changes? 4-3-3, the lineup there. Gabby Torres, 2 assists in that game alone, 6 assists this season. He'll be knocking those balls in for the likes of Andy Cabrera, who's got 10 goals this season. That's an exciting attacking lineup for El Paso.
El Paso Locomotive, 500 so far on the road this season, 3-3-3. On the other side of things for Miami FC, 3-5-2 here at home at South Dade Kia Field. But for head coach Gaston Modoni, this is a team that has felt like they've just run into some bad luck. Winners of 6 straight at one point during this year, but now have faltered in 6 in a row. 0-2-4 during this last span. And Gary, 12 games left in the regular season, including here tonight. It all starts with getting 3 points as this contest is underway. El Paso in the white unis here tonight. Miami FC in the blue tops. Few guys out tonight for Miami FC. One of them is Bolu Akinyode. He picked up a red card in the 2-0 loss on Wednesday for Miami FC. Diego Mercado is also out. Alejandro Matrano still out, nursing a bad high ankle sprain. Conditions here tonight at Pitbull Stadium. Temperatures 78 degrees, humidity right around 84%. Thoughts of rain throughout the entire day. But all in all, for Miami, they don't care what the weather is like. They need to get a W here against a team that's a high-octane offense, Gary.
It's a very, very good offense, El Paso. And you're right about the 3 points for Miami. As bad as their recent run is that you described, as we said in the beginning, a win today, and they're in 6th position, potentially, depending on other results. They're in a playoff place almost certainly, and that's after a bad run. So it still is positive for Gaston Modoni. He's done a really good job. I think it's a good Miami FC side. And when they drew against Pittsburgh at Highmark, Bob Lilly afterwards saying that's one of the best teams he's played, and they were so unlucky to concede with the last kick of the match against Pittsburgh. So if luck goes Gaston Modoni's way, you can very, very well see Miami in a playoff spot.
That leads us to tonight's keys to tonight's affair. Miami FC and El Paso, 2 teams with different strengths. What do we have?
Well, goals other than Bonfilio, he's scored almost all the goals this season. The next goal scorer is Knudsen with 2. So the other guys have got to help, whether it's set pieces from wherever they can. And that's what Gaston Modoni says, is that our big flaw this season is not getting goals from other sources. For El Paso, keep the ball when it's hot. And what Wilmer Cabrera meant by that is, especially here in Miami, if you don't let the ball do the work, if you can't pass that ball around and you're going to be chasing it, you're going to get drained of energy and you're going to struggle last 10, 15 minutes. So his message to the El Paso players is, get the ball, keep it, let Miami do the chasing.
Gaston Modoni, the head coach for Miami FC, actually acknowledged that in Wednesday's loss at Hartford. He felt like his team played exactly how they should have played in the first half and the second half. It was a breakdown of sorts in the second half to begin that half, and all of a sudden the wheels fell off the wagon. They fell behind 1-0. Bolu Akinyode picked up a red card, and the rest was history, a 2-0 defeat. But all in all, Miami controlled possession in that game. They dictated pace and tempo. It was a perfectly played road contest for the opening half. But Gary, they need a full 90 minutes here tonight against El Paso.
They do, and as second lowest scorers in the East, therein lies their problem. Bonfilio with 11, we mentioned Knudsen with 2, Captain Blanco with 1. Hardly anybody else even close to scoring a goal. Plus, they're the 3rd worst defense in the East. So if you're struggling at both ends of the table, you've got problems. But they're so close. That's the problem, David. They're so close to actually being a very good team. So maybe tonight's the night it all happens for the home side.
Bonfilio was wide open. Here's Blanco, top of the box, lets it rip. That shot goes way wide. First attempt of the night. Portion of the broadcast brought to you by Doral Kia.
Doral Kia is loaded with over 500 new Kia models in stock now. Test drive a new 25 Kia Sportage today. Doral Kia. Drive for less. Drive Doral.
Miami this year has lost 3 contests from a winning position. Gary, those hurt, but also the fact that they've had other matches within their grasp. They played to a 1-1 draw with Lexington, played to a 1-1 draw with Pittsburgh. Those were games that they led late. We mean in a stoppage time, and all of a sudden the opposition found themselves an equalizer.
That's to the point. This is actually a very decent team. They've just not quite pulled it off in 1 or 2 games. I think people who have watched them not. The problem is they're in 11th position. Look who's around them. Behind them, 1 or 2 points, Tampa Bay Rowdies. Would you believe it? Level with them, Hartford Athletic, who are on a tear at the moment. Birmingham Legion ahead. So the problem in both leagues is there's hardly a weak team. Maybe other than Las Vegas, everybody else is absolutely top class.
Cross, the header was missed by Christian Vasquez. El Paso trying to push something the other way. They can't yet. Notably, with what you had just mentioned, Gary, Miami FC doesn't hold the cards against those other clubs, including the team that they're in front of in Tampa Bay. They lost twice during the regular season against the Rowdies, so for all intents and purposes, they have to control their own destiny by winning games and having more points than the opposition because they don't own any tiebreakers.
And to the point that Gaston Modoni said to us, we spoke to him a couple of days ago, he said it's 12 finals. Every game now for us is a final, because even if they win tonight, the other teams can catch them up. So every week is going to be a battle. And some of their matches coming up are difficult. They've got trips to the West. So that's his attitude now for his players. Every game, we take it as a final. We give everything we have, because the difference at the end of the day might just be a point or 2.
While Miami has to play desperate ball from here on out, El Paso doesn't. But Wilmer Cabrera, the head coach for Locomotive, has done a fine job reshuffling the deck. They were awful last year in terms of goals for. Their goal differential was -19. They lacked offensive firepower, but Andy Cabrera, his son, has been fantastic so far this year, but he also has complementary pieces to support him throughout this journey.
He does. Armando Moreno with 6 goals, absolutely brilliant up front. Eric Calvillo from midfield with 3 goals, got a couple against Vegas in the last match, and they are joint top goal scorers in the West with 30 goals in 17 games, El Paso. So yes, to your point, he's done a fantastic job, Wilmer Cabrera. His son, Andy, looks like he's a really, really top-class player who could move on either to the MLS or to Europe very soon.
It's a 4-horse race to the top of the Golden Boot ladder. Abdulatif Abukora has 11 goals, tied with Francisco Bonfilio of Miami FC. Cal Jennings also has 11 goals this year for Charleston, and Andy Cabrera has 10. No slouch here, top of the box. They enter with some numbers. That shot goes to short side. Bill Hamid tested, but it goes off the mark.
It's not the best of efforts here. That ball has got to come into the box. There's numbers in the box there. Quezada, head up, maybe just mishits the ball, but yeah, you can see 1 or 2 of the players in the middle going, come on. That wasn't a shot, it was a square ball back into the penalty spot, and normally they're very good at that sort of play, El Paso. If you look at some of the goals against Las Vegas last week, a lot of it was just very clever, intricate passing. Quezada not up to it in that moment.
Quezada actually scored in that contest as well. Gary, I think the only player I did not see on the score sheet that night was your name.
I have 5 different scorers. Fantastic team effort all round, and no doubt Wilmer Cabrera very proud of his team. Now they've got to try and do it all again tonight.
A historic night for El Paso. Most goals they've ever scored in an affair. But it's not what you've done recently, it's what you've done tonight. And for El Paso, it's just a different environment playing here in South Florida. Weather conditions, plus humidity, and a team that's hungry for a W in Miami FC. So when played through, Knutson, good body positioning. Miami trying to flip the script, they can't. Possession stayed by Locomotive. El Paso and Miami FC have only met twice up until tonight. Each team has won on home soil. That's it. And for Miami, they must protect Pitbull Stadium in order to get themselves back in the good graces of a W. They've had a trying time during the regular season so far. Same thing with US Open Cup and the Jägermeister Cup. They started out promising a victory in regulation, a victory in penalties, but then all of a sudden they got beat up by a couple teams in USL League One.
Yeah, and to your point about Pitbull Stadium, it's just 3 wins at home, 2 draws and 5 losses. Your home ground's meant to be your fortress, and it should be, because there's humidity, there's heat, teams have to travel to get here, long distance, often. All those things are in your favor at home. The surface can be a little bit tricky to play on a turf surface, and yet still, they haven't made it a difficult ground. Only 3 wins in a total of 10 home games.
Alan Gavilanes had an offensive punch last year for Miami FC, making his 13th appearance of the year so far, 7 starts, but has yet to register a goal. Does have a couple of assists, but he needs to have more shots and more shots on target. He just has not had that look, and I think in moments like this, Gary, he can't defer as much as he has in recent weeks to a guy like Francisco Bonfiglio because, as you mentioned, they need other guys to put goals on the board.
He does. He needs to get shots on target. Sebastian Blanco, Christian Vasquez, all of them need to help Bonfiglio. Oh, good ball.
Out wide, penetration here. Hamid comes out. Great stop by Bill Hamid. Wonderful display of goalkeeping against one of the top goal scorers in Andy Cabrera. He was robbed, but he is limping.
That's a lovely ball through. Absolutely brilliant from Armando Moreno. And you fancy Andy Cabrera because he normally scores from those positions. He tries to flick it over the goalkeeper, Bill Hamid. And the experience of the 34-year-old goalkeeper just is enough to block that shot. But that's how impressive this El Paso team is. One great pass through, and they're in on goals.
Cabrera is still limping around a little bit. He just does not look comfortable for El Paso. Ricky Ruiz is going to take this corner for El Paso. This is one of the biggest question marks for both of these sides this year, is the execution on set pieces. Defending for Miami and attacking for El Paso, because El Paso doesn't have great size across the board. They have a ton of skill, but not guys that are 6'1", 6'2", 6'3" in the regular that can powerhouse and throw some headers towards target.
I think it's a true point there. They'll probably play it short from the corner and then try and move it around. Gaston Modoni just giving some instructions to his players. You know, with Ortiz at centre-back and Chumasi, they have a couple of players who can get on the end of a cross, but they just love to play the ball to feet, short little passes, and they do it so well.
Head coach Wilmer Cabrera talking to his son, Andy. The Colombian, high level of expertise. Bill Hamid being tended to right now by the medical staff of Miami FC. He missed a couple weeks, Gary, because of an injury he sustained in the 1-1 draw against Lexington. He absorbed some body contact at the end of the opening half, and Miami really lost his presence on and off the pitch during that recent skid.
Felipe Rodriguez, a 21-year-old coming in and not doing too bad, but struggling in a few situations.
Ruiz, short corner, oh, that nearly found the mark for El Paso. Ever so close, and Bill Hamid never had a chance on it. Andy Cabrera on his backside. He does not look comfortable again.
Oh, that's 2 wonderful chances for Andy Cabrera in the space of a minute. And how's the marking there in Miami FC defense? You should be able to deal with a simple cross, and you were saying they don't have the biggest players in the world, and yet it sails over everyone, and Andy Cabrera surely should have put that in the back of the net.
Christian Sordo is going to come in there for Andy Cabrera. This is a dangerous spot for Cabrera, Gary, because he was limping on the previous sequence that he got stopped by Bill Hamid. And you know, for a guy like him, he has to be hurting to come out this early in a contest.
Yeah, when you cover your head like that, it's normally suggests that he knows it's something that's going to be a problem. And Christian Sordo is a decent player, not probably as effective as Andy Cabrera in front of goals, but still going to be a threat against Miami FC.
It's a homecoming party for Christian Sordo. He's only played in 1 match this season with El Paso, but he formerly played with Miami FC. Miami, much like El Paso, has shuffled the deck with talent. El Paso, over 12 players new to the roster. Miami, the same exact thing. And a healthy amount of Argentine players for head coach Gaston Modoni. At one point during the year, Miami FC sported 7 players from Argentina during the starting lineup.
Well, they've got 5 here tonight. The coach is Argentinian as well, so there's a lot of support for Argentina and Leo Messi in that locker room.
If you're Wilmer Cabrera, Gary, how do you adjust now with Andy Cabrera out?
It's a big blow, isn't it? I mean, it's a massive player to lose.
Ooh, harsh foul here just outside the 18. This should render a yellow card, but it's not. Wow.
That was a good professional foul from Ricardo Ruiz. He knew what he was doing. And you're right, I think it's deserving of a yellow card. He was beaten, and there just gets in front of Gavilanes. Now, you've got some big players in Miami FC. You think of Knudsen, Cardona, Jonathan Ricketts. You want to get them in there, get some decent service in, and test Jamali Waite in goals.
Jamali Waite this season, 5-3-4, goals against at 158. Save percentage at .622 on the year. Rodriguez will take this free kick just outside the 18. See what kind of delivery he has for Miami on the approach. Waite sees it all the way in. He'll try to jumpstart the offense.
You know what the idea was, is to sort of bend it in towards goal, but didn't quite get enough whip on that. Not enough players in the box. If you know where it's going to go, why not get 4 or 5 Miami FC players in there as opposed to just 1 or 2?
Good hustle. This ball will run away. It'll be a goal kick. USL on the CBS Sports Network. Championship Eastern Conference playoff contenders North Carolina FC and Detroit City FC face off Friday, August 15th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. It'll be located on the CBS Sports Network. Hard to believe, Gary. We got 10, 11, 12 games left for some teams in the regular season, and that's it. And then it gets to the crunch time.
And up until then, both in the East and the West, there's only a handful of points separating a bunch of teams. I mean, you can shoot up from bottom to second by winning possibly 3 matches back-to-back. And conversely, you lose 3, you can come tumbling down either the East or the Western table. So much on the line. And I think Gaston Modoni is right. For almost every team, with the exception maybe of Charleston Battery, Lou City, and FC Tulsa, every match is a final from now to the end of the season.
Gaston Modoni did confide in us a couple days ago that the morale of the team is down, but the work ethic is still up. It's just about plugging away, continue to find results, and good things will happen to his team. That's a lot of optimism for a guy that's been through some massive ebbs and flows throughout the year. They were 0-4 to open up this season, had a big winning streak, and now they've tapered off yet again, but he's got his head up all the way.
Well, again, if they win here today, they're up in 6th position, subject to a couple of other results. And that, I think, will boost confidence. The fact that Andy Cabrera's gone off, of course, you don't want that for El Paso, but the fact that he has gone off is good news for Miami FC. So it's here, it's all for them at home. They win today, a whole different outlook on the season.
We highlighted Cabrera at the top of the broadcast with Francisco Bonfiglio, but now it looks like it'll be Armando Moreno and company to pick up the slack. Christian Sordo is no slouch, but limited time so far this year. It'll be Moreno, Calvillo, and company to pick up the slack, and they're certainly capable of doing that. Goal differential for them this year is only +5, 30 goals for and 25 against. But Gary, they're a sharp rate. They're a high possession team, around 53% on average. And their conversion rate's awfully high at 18%.
A lot of that down to Andy Cabrera. In fact, I've got 2 main highlights. One is Andy Cabrera getting through against Bill Hamid, and the other one is Andy Cabrera, who should have possibly scored from the corner at the far post. You're taking off a huge attacking threat there of El Paso's.
Game pretty much little to no theatrics outside of the 2 attempts from Cabrera. Out wide, Miami defending, coming back quickly on this. But El Paso will hold possession right near. Wilma Cabrera, a great deal of experience, not only here in the United States, in USL Championship, but also MLS. Managed Chivas USA, Houston Dynamo, Montreal Impact. On the US Open Cup with Houston. Calvillo with the corner towards the back post. Saw it up for a minute. Sordo torted his body, didn't look comfortable on that. Jamali Waite well out of his net. In foreign ground. Ball bobbling around Miami FC, and that was a harsh challenge. Jonathan Ricketts does not look good. A couple choice words that cannot repeat.
A little bit of a lunge there, wasn't there, from Beto Avila?
El Paso's dynamics won't change a whole lot with Andy Cabrera leaving because of an injury. Christian Sordo can fill it up. However, dynamics might change just in terms of how they attack Miami FC and Bill Hamid.
I just think if you're a Miami FC defender, you're feeling a lot more relieved now. Not that Christian Sordo is not good, but Andy Cabrera is top class. But just chatting to Gaston Madoni, he said our tactics are to mark man for man at the back. So whoever's marking Christian Sordo, who was marking Andy Cabrera, is feeling a little bit more relaxed. And he said on the other end, we have to high press them in their build-up, which is what they're doing right now. Now they're giving away a foul, which you don't want to do, but look at the numbers up there for Miami FC. They're going to high press El Paso and try and get turnover ball in a dangerous position.
Pretty simple philosophy for Wilmer Cabrera. His offense and his team as an 11-man unit love to go up and down the pitch. Pressure, put back lines on edge. But right now, without Andy Cabrera, there'll be a few other guys that'll have to step up. And for all intents and purposes, Miami doesn't give games away. You'll have to beat them and force them into mistakes. Christian Sordo. Outside, Calvillo. Takes a spill, and now a delay whistle as Romero called for the foul. This will be a free kick for El Paso.
He's talking about all the Argentinians in Miami FC. The one thing you know about Argentina as a country is their footballers are hardcore. They defend really well. They're gritty. They get stuck in. They don't mind mixing it up. They're a very hard team to break down in terms of the way they play their football. Whereas Brazilians are a lot more fun and they'll try tricks. Argentinians, Uruguayans, they're strong. That's why I think Miami FC have a chance of making the playoffs. Even though they've not had a good run, as we've said, a win puts them in a playoff position, and they're gritty enough to grind out a 1-0 win game after game.
Gabby Torres here on the free kick. It'll be Calvillo with the drive. Lobbed it in. Chumasi just misses the mark. He climbed the ladder, hit it pretty well, but not on target.
A decent effort there from Kofi Chumasi. Climbs above Knutson, which is not necessarily easy to do. And maybe Knutson just leaning back into him enough to put him off there and make it difficult for Chumasi to hit the target.
The alarming part in all of that, as you mentioned, Gary, Chumasi getting over Knutson. Chumasi's 5'11", Knutson's 6'2".
But he was going backwards, Knutson. It's very difficult to jump when you're going backwards. Whereas Chumasi was on the forward run. He can get a bit of height. But still, Knutson big enough just to put him off where you don't get a clear header. And it's very difficult to get it on target when there's someone big in front of you.
Romero was a runaway freight train for a second. Didn't really have an idea of where he was going with that ball. Lost the connection. It goes back to El Paso. Miami wanted to come into this contest and put the pressure on El Paso's back line and put some heat on Jamali Waite, the goalkeeper. They have not done that yet. They don't have a shot on target. El Paso a couple so far, but they've failed to open up the bank. Each team wants 3 points tonight, but at this point in the season, Miami FC needs it. Now we have a yellow card being issued. It's the first one of the night, and it'll be Sebastian Blanco that picks up yellow. It'll be verbal abuse of the official.
And if it is verbal abuse, that is a silly yellow to get for their captain, who knows much better. 37 years of age. He knows that you don't want to pick up yellows for saying something you shouldn't. You've got to deal with the referee with respect. You can still put your point of view across. If he has a late tackle and gets sent off for a second yellow, he'll look back at that moment and regret having said whatever he did say to referee Elton Garcia.
Miami FC has picked up 6 red cards on the year. Bolo Akinyoti, the latest recipient. That was straight red on Wednesday against Hartford, preventing a goal from happening. Romero, sweet glide over, but Miami being pressured as they attack. Gavilanes will have to retreat on the throw-in. Romero working quickly on this, has a couple players around. Jamali Waite skies up for that.
Does well, the Jamaican goalkeeper. Made a couple of really good saves in the first half against Las Vegas. Everyone looks at 6-0 and think it was an easy game. But it wasn't in the first half. He made 2 good saves, and then they get a second and a third, and then it was one-way traffic. But again, having a good goalkeeper at the back like Bill Hamid is for Miami FC, absolutely crucial to the success of any top team.
As the saying goes, it's not how many shots you stop, it's when you stop them. And at that point in the opening half against Las Vegas, the game was still in limbo. It was only 2-0, as you mentioned, with Wade's couple of timely stops. And then all of a sudden, El Paso just ran all over Las Vegas. At one point, when the match concluded, Las Vegas was outshot 20-6 by El Paso. Locomotive, 5 different players that got on the board. Eric Calvillo with the brace in that affair. Largest victory all time for El Paso. Trying to penetrate with some numbers here. Moreno, out wide, Moreno. Sputtering around. No real opportunity. Torres tapered it off. Moreno, matched up. He's mirrored. A couple players attack him, and Gavilanes forcing everyone for El Paso to retreat a bit. DeRoma. Ricky Ruiz will switch the pitch. Most possession El Paso has had for a sustained period of time is right now. Looking to threat, ball kept on the ground. Easy stop for Bill Hamid to make. He stopped and moved, pivoting with his right knee.
Ortiz, the captain, with the shot there, and it ends up being at the goalkeeper, but centre back in an attacking position again. Just shows you how much quality El Paso have in every position on the pitch when it comes to knocking the ball around and keeping control of it.
Certain players find different spots in Gaston Madoni's defense. Gaston, in his first year as the head coach of Miami FC, did a fine job of corralling his team. A lot of new players coming to the United States, selling them down, weathering a storm where they were 0-4 to open up the year, a goal differential of -6. And then they found their groove at San Antonio with a upset victory, and things looked relatively easy for Miami FC. Then they hit a tough spot. Last win against Charleston in June, and things just have not been the same yet. They've lacked some creativity, and of course the goals are not there outside of Francisco Bonfiglio. Elton Garcia, our lead official, talking to Gaston Madoni. Elton Garcia has been busy today. A yellow card for verbal abuse to Sebastian Blanco. And he's been talking to both coaches and both clubs.
By the way, you mentioned that victory against Charleston Battery. They've been fantastic this season, the Battery have. So to get a win at home just shows you how good they can be. They beat Loudoun at home 2-1 as well.
The head scratcher of this team, Gary, is that they've had signature victories.
Yep.
They've had it against Charleston, Loudoun United, San Antonio. Their first clean sheet in almost 2 years was at Rhode Island. So if one thing, if anything, is this is a capable team, but that only goes so far. You have to put results on the board. El Paso has, Miami has not. Moreno gliding through the defense, picked it up out wide for Sorto. Sorto, a one-hopper that Knutson will easily manage. Low bridging here, 2 players colliding. Christian Vasquez is on the deck with pellets on his arms, and he's not feeling comfortable right around the nose, and this will be a yellow card issued to Quezada.
Quezada came in there, didn't even get close to heading the ball. And that's why he got the yellow. Let's have a look at it again. You'll see here, he doesn't even get to the ball. He just smacks into the Miami FC player, and down he goes. I think referees keep an eye on that. If you go for the ball and you just miss the ball and your eyes are on the ball, it's one thing, but you miss it completely, take out a player, you're always going to be in trouble with the officials.
Wilmer Cabrera's group is a team that has improved by leaps and bounds compared to last year. They have 7 victories so far in 2025, but last year, Gary, 8, 18, and 8. They were brutal. Could not score, could not stop anybody. Romero played this in, but nobody in sight. Miami will hold possession, though.
Again, as Wilmer Cabrera, such a good coach. You gave his CV there and what he's been able to do. Also was coach of the US U17 team at one stage, and he's been there and done it, and you can see how cleverly he's put this team together this season. Who's to say they can't go all the way to the finals? That's how good this El Paso side is, but they will need to fit Andy Cabrera. Our concern will be that he came off not looking happy at all. Shirt over his head, which is never a good sign.
Injured here in the opening half after a 2-minute sequence. He was on a partial break on the right-hand side, was stopped by Bill Hamid, came up limping on the play, and then seconds after that on a corner kick, the delivery intended for him out wide, he limped into the goal and then walked off under his own power as 2 players collide. Celeste for Miami FC. It looks like Ruiz for El Paso. Match has been pretty choppy, Gary. You surprised?
Not really, because that is the way Miami do tend to play it. Again, you go back to the Argentinian style of play. They don't allow you to play freely. They stop and they block El Paso wherever they can. El Paso likes to knock the ball around a little bit more, but Miami won't let them do that, and they will close you down, and that's again why they just need a little bit of luck to go their way, Miami FC, and I can see them shooting up the table because they're a hard side to break down.
Good takeaway here for Miami. They don't have numbers. Vasquez tried to make a move. He could not rip it off. And back comes El Paso and Ortiz. Fine job by Arturo Ortiz. Christian Sordo out wide. With the run of play, Sordo dropped it off. Right side, top of the box, floated around, cleared by Miami. El Paso with the intercept. Whistle blown, and this will go right back to Miami FC. USL 1 on ESPN2, Championship Western Conference powerhouses. Phoenix Rising FC takes on surging Eastern Conference foe Tampa Bay Rowdies. Saturday night showdown, August 16th at 9 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. Match so far has had little to no theatrics. Miami FC not asking questions offensively yet. El Paso has twice. They have 4 shots, 2 of them on target. Bill Hamid has made some quality stops, but Miami looking for a pulse in the attacking third, in particular Francisco Bonfilio, who's been covered well.
He's on his own up front there, Bonfilio. Doesn't get a lot of support. Maybe Gavilaña is just trying to get up there to join him. Now let's see what they can do.
Ricketts has a couple guys available. Bonfilio tried to get it back, could not. Played away nicely by El Paso. This is a Locomotive side that can be leaky at times, Gary.
Yeah, it's one of the few times that Miami FC got into a good position.
Moreno with the step. Moreno out wide. Bill Hamid comes up huge. Play big, Bill. You did so right there. The 6'3" goalkeeper keeps this match scoreless.
It's a fantastic save. Just stretches that right arm really wide, but it's way too easy for Moreno to get behind that defense of Miami FC. You know how dangerous Moreno is. You've got to be keeping a close eye than that. Just what takes out the
stops to keep his team alive. Calvillo will take this corner. Couple inside the 18 for El Paso. Calvillo with 3 goals in the year, no helpers yet. Calvillo works short on it though. Ruiz. Quezada. Ruiz has an idea. Bill Hamid backtracks a little bit. Possession stays with El Paso.
It's got to be happy, Wilmer Cabrera. I mean, they've made 3 or 4 really good chances, El Paso. 2 with Andy Cabrera before he got taken off. 1 just now, Armando Moreno, and Arturo Ortiz gets a shot on target. All of those were little half chances for the visiting side. And on the other side, nothing to trouble Jamali Waite.
Miami trying to put the heat on any way they can, but problem for them has been getting out of their own defense and playing with possession and precision. This ball taken away again. Moreno, Sordon with the chip. Nice move to the top of the box. Miami trying to backtrack. They do. Fine job. Let's see if they can get the offense going.
Just saw Sebastian Blanco, the captain there, saying I need to be substituted. He's just sat down in the middle of the pitch. Problem for Miami FC.
Torres could not enter it. Ricketts played it away nicely. And Miami, much like El Paso, nicked up with an injury bug right now.
Second player's gone down. This is a real problem. I think Sebastian Blanco almost certainly will come off.
You got the GPS?
There's Sebastian Blanco. Playing on caution right now, but something is just not right with the Argentine player. 36 years of age, a ton of miles on his body. Member of MLS and Portland Timbers. Over a couple hundred appearances, and now he'll reside to the sidelines tonight. Tobias Zarate will come in for him. So, Gary, this match is not even 45 minutes in the books, and we have 2 marquee players that are stuck because of injuries on the sideline.
Yeah, well, at least Zarate's got a bit more in his legs, perhaps, at 25 years of age. Of course, you lose the experience of Sebastian Blanco, the 37-year-old. Fantastic player, but you've got a youngster on for El Paso, losing Andy Moreno is, sorry, not Andy Moreno, Andy Cabrera. That's a huge loss.
Elton Garcia. He's certainly not directing traffic on the 95, Gary. Chopping it up with Wilmer Cabrera.
Vos y Pancho, todo el tiempo por dentro y sacarlo a jugar. Entrar, rebotar y salir rápido.
Long discussion between referee and Wilmer Cabrera.
Well, you know the holiday season's around the corner. You got Halloween and Thanksgiving. Maybe inviting him over for dinner.
I think he was just saying to him, let me explain. You keep cutting me off. Let me tell you what the situation. I'm in charge. Let me. He's just giving him the finger, which says, hey, enough's enough. And Wilmer Cabrera says, okay, I get you.
I mean, it's not like Wilmer is chirping for 35 minutes plus. Calvillo towards the short corner, played away by Miami. And their offense trying to find a high gear, not yet. Zarate got his pocket picked and all the way back to Jamali Waite.
I think one of the problems for coaches is there's not a huge crowd there today, so when you shout from the touchline, it can be heard. And often coaches will say something uncomplimentary about the referee, which the referee can't hear. But when it's quiet like this, you can hear absolutely everything. So you've got to dial it down a little bit as a coach.
Well, one thing we do know is it wasn't too harsh because Sebastian Blanco had already picked up a yellow card for verbal abuse.
True, but maybe it's just constant shouting and having a go at the fourth official or other players. So yeah, again, warning's been given to Wilmer Cabrera. He now has to step very carefully.
Celeste trying to find a sweet spot. Gavilanes got nicked up. Shimasi a little upset with our lead official, Elton Garcia. Possession goes back to Miami here on a free kick. Five shots to nothing for Miami. El Paso has had the advantage in possession and shots, but no goals for. There's Felipe Rodriguez on the free kick. Second one of the night for him. Miami with a handful of players at the top of the box. Let's see where Rodriguez places this. The delivery, middle of the park, back post, good stop by Jamali Wade. That's a keeper reading the play cleanly. Jamali Wade's huge stop of the night keeps this match scoreless.
Fantastic save from Jamali Wade. I think it was Christian Vasquez at the far post. It's a wonderful free kick, by the way, flicked on there. Vasquez comes in and goalkeeper blocks that so well.
Making themselves big against shooters closing down the distance. Miami did not have many opportunities towards target Wednesday night in the loss to Hartford. 3 shots in the opening half. And tonight, just the one. This free kick, Gavilanes, the header. Bonfilo was looking for it, Knutson. Not a good strike as it tails well out of play.
Yeah, totally mishits that. Knutson, who happens to be the second highest scorer for Miami FC on the pitch right now. The big center back with 2 goals. There's Romero with 1. And nobody else has a goal except for the 11 scored by Bonfilio. Like Gaston Modoni says, our flaw this year is that we haven't got goals by anybody else other than our big number 9.
They've had chances. It's just a matter of converting on them. Miami has not had a lot of those conversion attempts be successful. That includes on a penalty as well.
Just take Christian Vasquez's chance now from 3 yards out. Fantastic opportunity. Nonetheless, brilliant save from Jamali Wade.
Ooh, this is a harsh challenge too. Doroma goes down. This is an immediate booking, but as you said, Gary, earlier, this is a professional foul.
This is where he was concerned that Doroma was through. Takes one for the team there. Got to stop him at all costs. And immediate yellow card, no question there for Nicolas Cardona.
A timely foul for Cardona to stop a transition moment for El Paso. Calvillo on this free kick. But he'll give it up, Ruiz. Gabby Torres. We haven't called Torres' name too often tonight. Really hasn't been in any kind of offensive rhythm for El Paso. But the match is still young. Some decent contact. Avila, who went down, gets back up to his toes. Sordo out wide to the right. He replaced Andy Cabrera early in this first half because of an injury. Cabrera was limping after 1 shot. This one played in, top of the box, moved away and around for Moreno. Sordo, the cross, nobody home for El Paso yet. Torres, off a body, there's Bill Hamid. A ricochet from Jonathan Ricketts, but overall, Gary, Miami looks composed defensively.
Well, they do, but they've given away 4 or 5 good chances in the first half. Even that one there coming from the right-hand side, flashes across the box. And in contrast, Miami with just the 1 very good chance for Christian Vasquez. But if you're El Paso, you probably go in halftime assuming the score stays the same, thinking, you know what, guys, we should be 1 or 2 goals up here. And that's my concern for Miami FC. When they have got forward El Paso, they have got behind the back 4, they've created opportunities. Even without Andy Cabrera, they still look dangerous with Moreno up front.
The youth will be on the pitch at the end of this opening half. Youngsters came out with the professionals to open up this match for pre-game festivities, the national anthem and the starting lineups being announced. Gary and myself will have first half highlights and stats and a whole lot more at the conclusion of this half. Miami trying to make something happen. Possession will stay with the home team. Felipe Rodriguez will have this throw in here for Miami. Time winding down the opening half. We'll check out our 4th official, Russell Miller, to see how much added time each team is afforded. Zarate, back to Rodriguez. This one lobbed through. Jamali Wade skies up for it. Francisco Bonfiglio does not have a shot so far in this contest. He comes in tied for the league lead in goals with 11. Andy Cabrera now is a tourist of sorts. He left this match because of an injury. He's 4th in the Golden Boot category with 10 goals on the year. Quickly played by El Paso. Miami, though, quick to pounce the other way. Gavilanes sputtering around, looking for some reinforcements. That delay allowed El Paso to rip it away.
They haven't done much, have they, Miami FC first half, and they've got to be careful. If they lose this and Tampa Bay win, they're bottom of the table, whereas a win could take them 6th. So the difference between, as we see 4 minutes at, a difference between a win and a loss here today for Miami is probably more than it's been all season. It's massive. Massive in terms of confidence, massive in terms of the next game they play and how they're going to go into that game. That's going to be against Lou City at home, so good luck with that. So they need those 3 points, and they're going to have to do a lot better second half.
The emotional roller coaster of a long season, especially for a new roster in Miami FC, really takes you through a spin. Torres, soft touch. Was unmarked for a moment. Nice heel kick. Torres, sharp angle towards the top. Was picked to set up Torres, but Torres could not complete the act. Avila again. He gets walled off by Ricketts this time. No chance.
Yeah, he sort of fell as soon as he ran into the big man. He just fell to the ground. Ricketts standing his ground there.
Well, we got a moment. Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship. From the Academy of the Big League, Select is there every step of the way. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. Vasquez waiting for this ball to finally come down. Christian, not scored a goal this season, has 3 assists. Gave it up to Romero. Romero working back. Knutson here. Miami failing in the possession category. 60% to 40. El Paso with the lead there. Zarate. Sharp angle against the end line. Never had a chance to get to a player in blue and black. Ricketts accelerating. Ricketts trying to ask a question on the ground. Harsh challenge. No whistle, no call. They play on. Wow.
Tell you what, I want to see that again. There's a real call for a penalty there. And that's gone down straight down the other end.
Christian Sordo. Sordo, ooh, a misstep by Avila. He had it going one way, the ball went the other. We go back to the previous sequence, Gary, and I saw what you saw, a harsh challenge, but no call.
Does he win the ball, Chumasi, or not? That's the question for me. Yeah, they feel it's a penalty, but of course they're going to appeal. They are Miami FC, but it did look like he got there, Chumasi, just after the Miami FC player. And they're still asking the question.
It's brutal. You can count a handful of times this has gone against Miami this year, and the opposing team has converted. Check it out again.
I just can't quite clearly see from that, but and if you're not sure, you can't give it. So if you're Elton Garcia and you see what we see, you can't think, well, maybe he got there first, maybe he didn't. You just can't give it. End of story. Tough for Miami FC that it wasn't a little bit clearer. Yeah, upset Gaston Madoni there. That would have been a wonderful thing for Miami FC just before the break. But to be fair, we've seen it, had a look at it 3 times. Can't be sure. If you're not sure, you can't give it.
And Gary, you're usually fair. I'll say that. You are usually fair. Take a peek at this one more time.
Ooh, now you see it from that angle. Now I'm thinking Christian Vasquez got there first. So if that's the angle that either the assistant ref or the referee had seen, the referee can't see that angle because he was behind it. Now the assistant ref might have been able to see it. And that's the angle that makes me think it is a penalty. But again, the officials can only give what they see. They do not have VAR.
The entire bench for Miami is hot. And the only guy that can't afford to be more vocal is Sebastian Blanco, who picked up yellow. But you can imagine the fury that he has even on the sideline. Bona fide contact inside the 18 that did not render a penalty. Massive swing of emotions for Miami FC. And now the question is, what do they do with it? Also Miller getting consoled by Gaston Madoni, pleading for some help.
They haven't got the luck, have they, Miami FC, in the match against Pittsburgh? It was the last kick of the match when Pittsburgh equalized at Highmark, and they played so well, Miami. Even Bob Lilly saying they deserved a lot more from that match. So, yep, they've taken a few bruises, but generally it swings and roundabouts. Maybe things will still go Miami FC's way. Maybe they'll still get a bit of luck.
Rodriguez here, good ball to the back post, headed. Ball wasn't going to go on target anyway. Chumasi down on the deck. He's not moving either. Now Jamali Waite in the middle of all of the conversation with Francisco Bonfilio on the opposing side. Chumasi got away with one of the biggest plays of this match up until this point. And 4 minutes of added time, but the controversy with Chumasi and Christian Vasquez has extended this opening half. And as soon as I say that, the half has come to a close. So arguments left and right, some body blows, but no killer shot just yet in this match. Scoreless, Gary.
Scoreless at the moment, but I think second half we're going to see a lot more excitement. Both these sides potentially can get goals. They're asking the question again, but the bottom line is quite simple. If Elton Garcia didn't see it, he cannot give it. And so they need to get it. They need to forget about that now, Miami FC, and focus on how they can get at El Paso in the second half.
Shots 5-2 in favor of El Paso. They have the advantage in possession as well, but nothing across the board. 45 minutes in the books from Pitbull Stadium. Miami and El Paso scoreless.
The Magic City, sparked by Julia Tuttle's vision and Henry Flagler's railroad expansion. What was once swampland, transformed into a booming city. This is 1896.
No one was born a hero. It's an everyday journey. There are no shortcuts, no days off, no perfect scenarios. Things won't always go the way you expect. But overcoming challenges is part of the game too. Your time is now. When passion runs through you, become your own hero.
No score at the end of the opening half. The Macron halftime report with Gary Bailey. I am David Gascon. While we have a moment, a couple of features that we want to showcase. USL League Two's USL Men's League Professional League celebrating its 30th anniversary, and the USL W League, the Women's Professional League as well, kicked off its fourth season this summer. Fellas, take it away.
BYU is the place to be here tonight as Utah United and NC Courage battling out here for a national championship.
NC Courage looking to defend their title, and Utah United looking to make some history with the first expansion team to win a USL League final.
Now another shot that falls, it goes in the back of the net! And just like that, Utah United off the foot of Evans Tostado. And now Blum puts it in the back of the net. It's 3-0. Sends one in the back of the net. It's 4-0.
USL 2 National Championship between Ballard FC and the Vermont Green. This is a moment very few of us have ever seen. This is a special moment for soccer and for Burlington. It is going to be a big one. These two teams are loaded with talent. They've both led their conferences, their divisions throughout the year, and a chance for Ballard to make it 2 titles in 3 years, and a chance for Vermont Green to do something no one has done since 2010 and go perfect. And they're about 3 points to the spot. He rolls it off the post and in. And Vermont Green take the lead in the national championship at Virtue Field. And there he is, coast to top once again. And Gay recovers it, curls it back in. Marshall puts it on, and Kilgore, the national championship goal scorer in NCAA, puts it in 2025. Vermont is the king of soccer. As the Vermont Green win their first ever USL 2 title. And green is the color of victory once again in Burlington, Vermont.
All kinds of sights and sounds around USL League and also USL League Two. We got some stats and some highlights. Take a look around the out-of-town scoreboard. All that and then some here at the break.
Prinks tires in the USL help soccer journeys everywhere to drive harder. From city playgrounds to suburban sidelines, from early mornings to late nights, from fun with friends to winner takes all, from the biggest fan to the biggest heart. And at every turn, Prinks tires will be there for the long haul.
Another corner kick, and it's perfect for Tampa Bay!
Little one-touch, Aveyevu. Aveyevu sets it up. Aveyevu!
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Whoa, termites can eat a pound of wood a day. 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 What's wrong, Daddy? Daddy? You okay?
Keep termites out of your home and your head with our premium guarantee that covers up to $250,000 in new termite damage. Before panic shows up, Terminix it.
No one was born a hero. It's an everyday journey. There are no shortcuts, no days off, no perfect scenarios. Things won't always go the way you expect, but overcoming challenges is part of the game too. Your time is now. When passion runs through you, become your own hero.
Back here at Pitbull Stadium with Gary Bailey, I'm David Gascott, the Macron halftime report. Nothing doing just yet between Eastern and Western Conference foes. Now we have a moment in time to take a peek. Gary, we had this thing back in the day called newspapers, but today it's all digital. So the news and notes, what do we got?
Well, Devin Rensing, who'd sort of worked under all the success at Charleston Battery there, now moves to take on Las Vegas Lights at a time when the Lights are really struggling. But I think he can take a lot of the success that he learned there from Ben Pearman and turning the season around for Las Vegas. You hope for his sake anyway that can happen. Also turning a season around, Tampa Bay Rowdies under a new coach, Don Casciado, doing really well now, and I think they're going to make the playoffs. I have a sense they're going to go on a good run. They've already started that run. And then Trevor Aman has moved from Sac Republic. Had a couple of games already for FC Tulsa. Hasn't scored yet, but it's come close.
That's what's going on, news and notes. Now I'll take a little shot of glory with the Jägermeister Cup. The quarterfinals are here, starting on Wednesday, August the 20th. Any of these matches really jump out at you at all?
Well, there's some good teams. There's San Antonio at home to a flying Hartford. Sacramento travel to take on Loudoun, who have been good, but in a bit of a slump at the moment. Rhode Island, they're slowly putting things together. And Greenfield Triumph, the only team from League One. They've got a difficult match at Indy 11.
USL Team of the Week, week number 22. The head coach is Danny Cruz. But as you see at the top of the pitch, it is loaded with El Paso Locomotive. Not one, not two, not three, but four members of the squad that are here.
Wow. I mean, that is impressive. And that, because of that 6-0 victory over Las Vegas, Gabby Torres with his 2 assists, Eric Calvillo with the 2 goals, Andy Cabrera, who unfortunately had to leave the game early, and Amanda Moreno, very, very good, very impressive from El Paso.
The youngsters are impressed. Any fine fashion or form. Look at some highlights right around the corner. Don't go anywhere. El Paso and Miami, one more half to go.
The Magic City, sparked by Julia Tuttle's vision and Henry Flagler's railroad expansion. What was once swampland, transformed into a booming city. This is 1896.
Kia is loaded with over 500 new Kia models in stock now. Test drive a new 25 Kia Sportage today. Doral Kia. Drive for less. Drive Doral.
This portion of the broadcast is brought to you by Macron. Become your own hero. Bon Bon Boom, suck at something. Baptist Health. And Doral Kia. Drive for less, drive Doral. take a look at the first half highlights in this thing. The majority of it, El Paso was dominant, Gary, and opened things up. They had a quality chance.
Andy Cabrera through here early on, and it's a very good save from Bill Hamid. Fancied Cabrera to score. Just sort of pulls up a little bit lame. And then there's a ball here headed over from Chumasi. There was a couple of other chances for Andy Cabrera also before he had to leave the pitch. As you say, all El Paso creating problems. This one's going to fly across, and a shot coming in there from the captain, Arturo Ortiz, straight to Bill Hamid. And eventually, I was about to say they're going to get a chance. Miami, they will do in a moment. First, though, this ball straight through for Amanda Moreno. Way too easy to beat that back four. And again, another massive save from Bill Hamid. So, to Miami's chance here. Ball whipped in from Felipe Rodriguez at the backstick. Christian Vasquez has a great opportunity. Marvelous save from Jamali Waite. And then the controversy at the end, is this a penalty or not? Chumasi in a touch late. Hard to see if he got the ball or not initially off Christian Vasquez. There's an angle that shows us that he didn't. Vasquez actually got there a split second before Chumasi, and perhaps should have been a penalty, but difficult for the referee to see, and if he can't see it, he can't give it.
Gaston Madoni hopping on the sideline right now as we look at a picturesque Saturday night here in South Florida. Stats tell you one thing, but the match is scoreless. Shots favoring El Paso. Possession also on their side. A couple yellow cards, but one of them, Sebastian Blanco, not playing on caution because he's injured. But all in all, how would you evaluate the first 45, Gary?
Well, most of the chances going to El Paso. The controversial moment, of course, is the penalty appeal. Miami will say, well, we should be one up, or certainly we should have had a penalty. But El Paso had 3 or 4 chances. Bill Hamid came up huge. And Jamali Waite came up massive once as well. So there's been chances, but as yet, no goals.
So if you're Wilmer Cabrera, the head coach for El Paso, what changes would you make, if any? Are you happy with the first half? Are you disappointed? Somewhere in the middle? What do you got?
I would say if you're Cabrera, you're quite happy. It's been a good first half. They had a ton of chances. But for Bill Hamid, should have been on the score sheet not once, but twice or 3 times. They have options off the bench if they want. Remember Diaz, Robert Coronado, other players of that caliber. But the onus for me is on Miami FC. They're at home, and they need the points to climb up the table. If they don't, if they lose this, they could find themselves bottom of the table tonight, which will be a crushing blow to confidence. So the home side have to do something. My question is, what are they going to do? Led by the captain and their top goal scorer, Francisco Bonfilio.
Well, we get to cheat a little bit as we start this second half. Miami will have possession. Tampa Bay's leading North Carolina right now, 1-0 in the opening half. Miami is chasing a couple teams. One of them was Pittsburgh. They're losing right now to Orange County. Rhode Island and Loudoun United are scoreless. Lou City just getting underway against Charleston. In the 6th minute, they already lead 1-0. Birmingham and Hartford also underway. That match is scoreless. But for Miami FC, they need to control what's in front of them. That's El Paso. No Andy Cabrera for the rest of this match because of an injury in the opening half. No Sebastian Blanco for Miami, though. But regardless, they need to have more chances towards Jamali Waite. The opposition's goalkeeper hasn't been tested all but a couple times.
I would suggest that perhaps this is the most important 45 minutes of the season for Miami FC. Next up, they've got Lou City at home, and that's a tough one. Be lucky to get anything out of that match because Lou City are a top class side. So this is the match where they've got to pick up 3 points. This is the match where if they don't, they could be bottom of the table, and you get stuck at the bottom. And without Andy Cabrera, it's probably El Paso at their weakest. If they don't take this chance, I worry for Gaston Madoni's side that they will not get another opportunity to get themselves into a playoff spot.
And Gary, someone hears that might think, okay, Gary Bailey, that's hyperbole, but you're looking at it from just a scheduling standpoint and how a team like Miami can actually get themselves on a run, let alone earning 3 points. Close of the year, they have a brutal closeout with 3 games against teams that are in the upper echelon of the Western or the Eastern Conference. So if you're thinking about ripping off 4 or 5 or 6 games of 3 points consecutively, that's really hard to fathom.
It is, and if you look at their run, besides the Lou City match at home, they've then got Indy 11 away. That's not an easy game. Loudoun United away, and on their home turf, they have been very, very impressive at Segra Field. So there's maybe not a lot of points to be gathered from those 3 matches. If you don't gather them today, you could be rooted to the bottom of the table as you say, some tough matches on the road in the West coming up, and you might never get the chance to get back into a playoff position. So again, back to that. This for me, for Miami FC, is the 45 minutes that could dictate their entire season.
Why Gaston Madoni feels so comfortable at his team, though, is because they've had the ability this year to play up to the level of top-tiered competition. Beating San Antonio, beating Loudoun United, who was the best in USL at that point, beating Charleston at home. So they have the capabilities of getting to that higher gear. The problem is keeping it consistent for 90 minutes, whether it's at home or on the road. It's a completely different complexion for this team. No Bolo Akinyoti here today, so they've survived, but still, they have not gotten themselves into an offensive rhythm. El Paso is trying right now, a couple players into the box. This one volleyed around for the time being. It gets past Bill Hamid, but it will not count. Avila, a little upset with all of that. As we have a moment in time, this portion of the broadcast brought to you by Doral Kia.
Doral Kia is loaded with over 500 new Kia models in stock now. Test drive a new 25 Kia Sportage today. Doral Kia, drive for
Interesting. Beto Avila saying, what did I do wrong? I don't know if it bounced up and hit his hand, but it seemed like he managed to dribble his way through the players and stick one under the body of Bill Hamid. I don't know if the whistle had gone already and the goalkeeper didn't try for it, but a bemused look on the face of Beto Avila.
This match has lacked marquee talent from both sides of the pitch. Andy Cabrera out because of an injury. Bolo Akinyoti out because of a red card against Hartford on a Wednesday. No Sebastian Blanco because of an injury midway through the opening half. El Paso has depth. The question is, does Miami have the horses to keep themselves in the running? Sordo nearly blew a tire, lost the handle on it. Christian Vasquez, who had a troubling first half because of contact when entering the attacking third, is okay. Zarate with a nice move. Zarate trying to get around the corner, quick pivot, the hesitation. Vasquez. Celeste. Out wide, open angle. This one penetrating through, and the shot goes to Miami FC to take a shot just outside the 18 there.
Had a couple of little moments there, and that one a deflection. That sort of deflection that can often go past a goalkeeper. Instead it goes for a corner, but much better play there from Miami FC. Testing El Paso on the left-hand side and then down the right-hand side.
Gavilanes will take this corner for Miami. First one of the night, Gavilanes good on the mark. Sordo punch this thing away.
It's a very confident Bill Hamid at the back there. Didn't seem in the least bit bothered about that high ball coming through.
The veteran keeper has seen it all in MLS. And a two-hand shove should render at least a yellow card. Daroma gonna help out Celeste. Gary, in the opening half, this is blatant yellow. Why not now?
A very good question. You put your hands on someone, it should be a yellow, even if they are trying to block the ball. Now maybe again the referee Elton Garcia preferring to talk it through. Perhaps he's saying there to Celeste, you were the one who was in the way. You shouldn't have been blocking that ball. Hence the push. But once you raise your hands to an opponent, I think you're 100% right. It should generally be a yellow card.
Elton Garcia has been anything but consistent in this match in terms of officiating. Provided Sebastian Blanco with a booking in the opening half before he departed. Wilmer Cabrera doing some chirping on his end. Sordo, the cross, but nobody around for El Paso there.
Christian Sordo just needs to have a better ball into the box, pick somebody out as opposed to just put it into a space and hope. And that's the difference between him and the likes of Andy Cabrera. Cabrera would be such a danger in those positions. Christian Sordo, with a chance to impress the manager, maybe needs to do just a little bit better there.
With the way that Miami played in the opening half, Gary, any changes that you'd make if you're Gaston Madoni?
I think he will obviously make changes as time goes on, bring on some fresh legs, Lucas Milano perhaps, Dion Veron. They've got a youngster, Alex Naranjo, 18 years of age, who Gaston Modoni was telling us is going to be a star of the future. Maybe this is an opportunity to bring on someone different and say, go on, youngster, have a run. See if you can do some tricks and get past the defense, because, again, the onus is on Miami FC. El Paso will look at this 0-0 result and go, well, if we leave with a point, we won't be unhappy. Maybe we should have got more, but we'll take it. For Miami FC, anything less than 3 points here today, I think for them, is a major, major problem, major disaster.
Out wide, Celeste. Ball has a lot of run to it. He does get to it in time. Celeste, the cross in the middle of the pitch, almost found the mark. Second cross of this contest. Romero's shot tries to bend this in, but you need to have it well struck to beat Jamali Wade from out there.
In the end, it was just a comfortable save for Jamali Wade. Looked more like a ball over the top than a shot coming in. And that's been the problem for Miami. If you look at the expected goals in the first half, it's just 0.08. Basically means they haven't tested the keeper. Now, that's ignoring the penalty appeal and the fact that Christian Soto's chance was very well saved by Jamali Wade. So I think it's better than 0.08, to be honest. But what it's saying is they didn't really test the El Paso defense enough, whereas El Paso had a 0.44 expected goals, nearly half a goal. Much better from the visiting side.
Moreno picking himself off the deck. The 29-year-old has fared well for El Paso this season. He's really filled it up in a good set of offensive skills. 6 goals, 4 assists, 16 matches so far, 17 including tonight. Moves over from New Mexico to El Paso. So a change in scenery. Weather not too much better. But overall, he's been a great piece and a fine acquisition for El Paso.
Certainly has. He's 5th in the USL in shots as well, to add to your stats. That's a very impressive 6 goals, 4 assists. If it wasn't for Andy Cabrera's 10 goals, then he would have been the standout player, Armando Moreno.
The major emphasis for El Paso during the offseason was to shore up what they did in the attacking midfield. Andy Cabrera, Moreno have done just that. But this is a club last year that really faltered in many of occasions, especially offensively. El Paso as a group last year was shut out 14 times. 14 times. They lost 18 of those matches, but 14 defeats via the shutout. But they've cleaned up their end offensively. They scored 27 goals a year ago, and right now they're sitting on 30. Speaking of goals here, Soto takes a shot. Bill Hamid comes up large again. This time Christian Soto had the right corner, the right velocity, but Bill Hamid closing the gap fast.
That's the 3rd, if not the 4th, top-class save from Bill Hamid. Once again, defensively, Miami FC not keeping it tight enough. And Christian Soto, wonderful opportunity. Can't really blame him. He gets it on target. Could he have got it left or right of the keeper, perhaps?
From outside, that shot's blocked. Chumasi, Ortiz, Gabby Torres, Sordo looking towards the middle of the pitch, but it goes right to Bill Hamid into the breadbasket.
Bill Hamid, just absolute top class from the former MLS man. Just big body, arms out as well. Christian Soto had no one around him, so he had time just to aim and get that shot on target, which he does. Bill Hamid showing all his experience as a 8 times USA international. And for DC United, just 3 short of 300 matches in the MLS.
He's been around the park, the highest of highs in the United States. El Paso's yet to break things open against him. They scored 6 goals a week ago against Las Vegas, burning them to the tune of 6-0. 5 different scores getting on the board. Eric Calvillo with a brace in that affair.
4 really good looks at goal. Miami have had 1 good look at goal with Christian Vasquez and a very good call for a penalty. So El Paso with the better and more frequent chances, but both sides have had their moments.
Sordo, sharp corner. Sordo tries to push it through Knutson. The fine job nullifying that cross.
That's another good chance and another bit of poor defending from Miami FC.
Miami just keeping their head above water, but barely. Bonfiglio asking for some help and some reinforcements. Miami. Tobias Zarate was wide open at the bottom of the pitch, and nobody saw him in his colors. Zarate with it now. Came in for the injured Sebastian Blanco. Romero with the chip. Bonfiglio with a step. Tries to get around. Waite could not do it. Oh, he had it, but Jamali Waite anticipated in fine form. Bonfiglio was onside. Vasquez across to a teammate. Volleyed around for Gavilanes. Could not settle it. Nice counter by Miami after the sequence from El Paso. But back come Locomotive.
It's a good save from Jamali Waite, and brave play from Francisco Bonfiglio. Had to put his head in where it hurts, nearly got it smacked in the process.
Calvillo. Gabby Torres. Now I get another player for Miami injured on the deck. Middle of the pitch.
Could even just be cramped, but there's that chance. Lovely ball over the top. Look him put his head in there as the goalkeeper's arms come out. Bonfiglio, natural goal scorer. Haven't seen him do anything all match, and suddenly he's in the right position. He's brave enough to go for the ball, and once again, Jamali Waite with a really good save for El Paso to keep that clean sheet.
Looked like that was Francesco Celeste who's on the pitch. Miami has made one change so far. That is Celeste. Blanco with the injury in the opening half. He had to depart in favor of Tobias Zarate. Now here in half number 2, Celeste on the deck. He's trying to work things through.
Just wonder if it's a chance now for both coaches to look at their bench and think, well, who can I bring on to swing the match in my favor? Who is looking tired on the pitch? Christian Sorto on the right of the screen there, just walking out with some water. I thought he's been sharp in the last few minutes. Had a couple of chances, run down the right side, beat a couple of, well, as we talk about it, here are some subs.
Lucas Milano and Dejan Varon both coming into the fray. Had a pretty good flow of action both sides. And now the sequence with Celeste dropping down because of an injury. Varon will come in for Celeste. That's one of the 2 changes here for Gaston Madoni. Lucas Milano will check in for Christian Vasquez. You like the 2 moves, Gary?
I think anybody fresh coming on is good, because it's up to Miami to make this happen. There's a 3rd sub here as well.
Toronto also make his first appearance in Miami colors for Felipe Rodriguez. This is a team that's on a short week. They played Wednesday at Hartford and lost 2-0. They have to come right back on the bird, get home to Miami, rest up, and get to work. Cesar Garcia and Toronto comes in for Miami FC. So Gaston Madoni making 3 changes here in half number 2, 1 in the opening half.
This is where they need a hero, Miami FC. Someone's got to come on and win this match for them. Otherwise, they're going to find themselves in a heap of trouble with Lou City next at home, and a couple of away matches could go from bad to worse.
Vasquez's body language says it all for him. Orange County leading Pittsburgh in the second half, 1-0. Detroit 1-0 over Indy. North Carolina has taken the lead at the half, 2-1 against Tampa Bay. Lou City has opened it up against Charleston in half number 1, 2-0 there.
Wow, that's the clash of the Titans at the top of the USL.
The delta is so wide between Miami FC and the top tier teams in the Eastern Conference. Lou City in real time with 44 points, Charleston with 41, and then Miami FC, as it stands, has 20. It's a major discrepancy. However, when you look at the Western Conference with El Paso, it feels like a traffic jam. almost like you're stuck in California traffic for all that matters. FC Tulsa is the pace car with 35 points, but second place with 27. Outside drive, this thing never had a chance to go on target. Wait, not challenge. In the Western Conference right now, there's 3 teams with 27 points. And the difference between second place and 8th is 5.
Wow. There's going to be a lot of good teams who do not make the playoffs, because every team, maybe with the exception of Las Vegas, and even they could turn around. Every team in the USL East and West is a good side. There's going to be some quality teams who don't make it. Could be Tampa Bay Rowdies, for example. I mean, who would have thought that at the start of the season? Colorado Springs Switchbacks, the reigning champions. They've been struggling in the West, so it's going to be some shocks by the time we reach the end of the season.
Miami trying to dial up the pressure. The one consistent thing with the Eastern and Western Conference is the teams that are typically stable year in and year out, that don't need whole player changes, are usually competing for the first, second, or third position in their respective conference. Sacramento, Lou City, Charleston, Tampa Bay this year is an anomaly, but those are clubs and organizations that have continuity. We have teams like this in Miami and El Paso, whole player changes, brand new rosters, it feels like, and you see them waddling up and down the ranks in their respective conferences. It's fascinating to see.
It is, and it just shows you how difficult the USL is. Just a couple of games, you mentioned it, a couple of draws for Miami FC that should have been wins. You think of Pittsburgh being the most recent one, and they've been in a completely different position, probably feeling confident, probably feeling they can sit back and counter-attack teams, which the Argentinians are always very good at doing. Now they have to go after the game.
Ricketts with the steal. Bonfilio jogging down the middle of the pitch. Romero back to Ricketts. Bonfilio's had 2 chances on the night. One a ball that was inches away from him heading in, and another with a shot attempt that was deflected wide. Nothing tonight for Andy Cabrera, who had flashes in the first couple of minutes before an injury sidelined him.
He could have scored twice
in
those 10-15 minutes before he left the field. One great save from Bill Hamid, and then at the far post from the corner, that was probably the big miss, because he was in. He wasn't even being sort of followed by a defender. He had the opportunity to tap it in at the far post.
Deromo with a good ball. Gabby Torres does not have the gas to hit it. And that'll be a goal kick. While we have a moment, soccer season is here, and SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of the USL. Get all your USL tickets and more from the #1 ticketing site, SeatGeek, your ticket to great seats. I used SeatGeek for the Stanley Cup final this year.
Did you?
I did. Florida Panthers beating the Edmonton Oilers. I went to the final game, them winning it in 6.
Unbelievable. So I'm told.
Yes, it was an amazing performance by the Panthers. Back-to-back years beating the Oilers. Miami FC on the approach here. The crossing attempt. Gavilanes, the header, didn't have a lot of velocity on it. Christian Serta with a harsh challenge here. This is going to come right back in an ideal spot for Miami to take a free kick.
Christoph Sorda has been working hard, but maybe just felt he overcooked that one. Here's this ball across, headed back, and then clear of danger, and there's the push. Not much, but enough for the referee to give the free kick. Now, it doesn't matter if you're Miami FC, whether you score from a set piece, how you score, the deflected shot, you'll take anything at the moment. So get this in the danger area, get some big bodies, especially the likes of Knudsen at 6 foot, what do you say, 4?
Yeah.
Thereabouts. Get the ball on him. Put El Paso under big pressure from the set piece. And see if you just can't get yourself ahead. Once you're 1-0 up, then you've got something that you can defend.
Dejan Vadon's going to take this. Pretty good strike, but it sails well over the crossbar, not on target. The chances for Miami, Gary, have been far and few. They've only had 1 corner kick tonight. So when you have moments like this, you got to put something on target and give your team a chance.
Agreed. And even then, it's a very, very difficult one to score. So why not just chip it in and let the big boys have a big fight and try and get on the end of it? Always, feel that when you're struggling to get a goal, sometimes just putting it in the danger area is the simplest way to go about it. But anyway, Miami didn't take that opportunity, and the ball sailed harmlessly over the crossbar.
Miami has 17 goals coming into tonight's affair. Goal differential of -10. Last year, it's a club that struggled putting the ball in the back of the net. They were outscored by a wide margin, 63. 89 goals against, 26-4. The good news for them is they've cleaned up, relatively speaking, defensively, Gary, but still, as you mentioned at the top of the show, Francisco Bonfiglio has been a bright moment for them, but the complementary pieces like Gavilanes and Blanco and Milano, they just have not had the ability to score, even though they've had chances to put something behind the opposing team's goalkeeper.
And that's why they're the second lowest scorers in the East, which is 17 and 18 games. But if they were tight at the back, really tight, you go, okay, well, it's a difficult team to break down. The third most goals conceded, 27 and 18. So if you're not scoring at one end, you're conceding a ton at the other end. That is why they're sitting outside of a playoff place. And yet through all of that, they still look like they're on the verge of being a really good side. They're just missing that clinical finishing from somebody else other than their star striker, Francisco Bonfiglio. So, can Zarate step up? Alano step up? Gavilanes? Somebody needs to come to Miami FC's aid here, because once again, we've made this point before, the next match is home to Luz City. Good luck with that. Then away at Indy, away at Loudon. You might not pick up many points in the next 3 games. If you don't pick up 3 here today, you might find yourself rooted to the bottom of the table.
If there's one piece that they're missing, is it in the offensive category or the defensive category?
To me, it's both. I mean, they've been picked away apart too easily in defense. There's been a couple of through balls. Mando Moreno's been through. One ball over the top, and he's through on goal. So I think that's been a question mark defensively. And on the other end, they really haven't threatened much. There's a penalty appeal. One good save from Christian Vasquez. Maybe something coming up now.
Pretty good move out wide. Miami trying to threaten here. The crossing attempt. Sea of white. Sorto was there, but did not strike that thing flush. Miami possession for a second. Daroma gets this thing into harm's way. El Paso's going to be a problem for whoever they play in the playoffs in the Western Conference. Especially if Andy Cabrera can get himself healthy. Gavilanes could not get to that ball.
That's going to be a huge, huge issue for El Paso. I'm sure that after this match, Wilmer Cabrera, the coach, and of course the father of Andy Cabrera, will be straight in there to see the medical staff and see if it's going to be a long-term injury. But the way Andy pulled his shirt over his head as he walked off the pitch just gives you the sense that perhaps this is going to be a problem injury for Andy. You hope not, for El Paso's sake.
The good news for Andy, he's only 24. Youngsters can heal at a quicker rate than the elder statesman.
It just might come at a crucial time for El Paso in this season. Without him, will they sort of drop down the table a little bit, find themselves out of a top 4 position?
A couple of changes coming up now. Robert Coronado is going to enter the affair. Coronado signed with El Paso midway through last year. Gabby Torres walking off the pitch. We didn't see a lot of his offensive prowess today. Does that surprise you?
It does, yes. He was absolutely brilliant against Las Vegas, whipping in balls from the left-hand side, dangerous balls that Las Vegas couldn't deal with. Been very quiet here tonight, and that's probably one of the reasons why he's come off.
Emiliano Rodriguez also comes in for El Paso. Ripe old age of 21. Those days seem so long ago, Gary. I'm not gonna lie.
Really? For you? Imagine for me.
So a couple of changes for Wilmer Cabrera, going to some fresh bodies. This is a club that played last week, so they don't have a lack of fuel in the tank compared to Miami FC. Christian Sordo, who played awfully hard while he was in for the injured Andy Cabrera, he departs. So 3 full changes. Gabby Torres came into this match with a goal and 6 assists. 17 matches, not a factor tonight for Wilmer Cabrera. After this match for El Paso, they'll take on Monterey Bay on August the 16th. They have some numbers here. Miami FC trying to backtrack. That shot just goes sailing wide. Pretty good strike from Avalon, but just not on the mark.
It wasn't far wide either, was it? Very, very good player when he cuts inside like that, and all of a sudden you start to get the sense that El Paso might be looking at a chance to win this game. He's the sort of player they'll need on that front foot, Beto Avila and Armando Moreno. Interesting that Christian Soto was taken off, having been one of the subs that come on. It's not often that you sub a player in and then take him out, and I thought he did quite well for a moment. They had a couple of chances, so not quite sure of the thinking behind that, whether he picked up a little knock that forced him to come off.
Soto had only played one game heading into tonight's affair for 18 minutes. So the idea of maybe nutrition and endurance and game conditioning could be a factor.
And to be fair, he came on fairly early in the match for Andy Cabrera, so it's not like he's a late sub. He's played the majority of the match.
Sweet move, Romero with the chip. Gavilanes and a trio of Miami players were about a mile offside.
Wade taking no chances, came out there and slide tackle to win the ball, picked up a little knock in the process perhaps. Now there's a worried coach. He knows he's got 16 plus minutes. It looks like Jamali Wade did take more than just a little knock to his ankle. 16 plus minutes to get a result here, and he'll know the importance of the 3 points. Like he said, 12 cup finals to come. That's one of the most important of them all. You're at home, team that's lost their star striker, Andy Cabrera. Gotta get this 3 points.
Is this a team in Miami FC that's played desperate tonight for you?
Not enough yet. They've put in a shift, there's no question about that, but I'm expecting now to see 15 minutes of desperate play. This is where you've really got to throw, as the English say, we throw the kitchen sink at El Paso, and often that comes from just high balls into the box. Fans are saying, come on, give us something to get excited about in these last 15 minutes. But you've got big Knudsen up front there, 6'4". Nothing wrong with putting him up there and just bombing high balls into the box. Just do something different that maybe catches El Paso out.
And you're in a situation like this for Miami, Gary. It's a fine line between playing desperate but also preserving enough fuel in the tank to get you to the finish line. Do you think that's probably a little bit behind the methodology for Gaston Madoy, the head coach of Miami FC?
I don't think so, because you've only got 15 minutes. You may as well say to all the players, give me everything and more. Plus, you're at home. You're used to playing in the Miami heat and humidity. If you were El Paso, you might be a bit worried about that because you've been traveling and there's jet lag and all the rest of it. For Miami, I would expect these players are more than capable of giving a final 15 minutes that takes it up another 10%. And I want to see them have a go at each other. That's when, you know, you wind each other up and say, come on, you've got to take it up another level.
Jamali Wade back to his toes. He's all good. Made his way from Pittsburgh to El Paso, and he's picked up where he has left off. A Pittsburgh team a couple of years ago that won the Players' Shield that was upended by Detroit in the opening round. One of the most shocking defeats in USL Championship playoff history. Detroit team skirted into the postseason because Miami FC could not win their final game of the regular season. Handful of changes for both these sides. Miami FC capable, but have yet to get anything on the board. Quality opportunities have been far and few. They're actually nearly even on shots though. El Paso was 7, Miami FC was 6. Difficult challenge here in the middle of the park, and this will be a yellow card. Varan with the booking, he's stuck on caution now.
It's going to get a little bit chippy here in the last few minutes, you would think. Not happy with that. Going down injured there was Armando Moreno. rolled a few times as if to say that wasn't just a, and he's still down in fact, it wasn't just a small connection, he really felt that.
Mondo Moreno making his way through New Mexico to El Paso, was the club's leading scorer in 2023. Double-digit goal scorer. And he is nursing an injury right now because of the damage from Varon. Medical staff out. Gaston Madoni looking to his sideline, but the offense is on the pitch right now. Lucas Milano, who came in as a sub, he's been one of those guys that can give quality service to Francisco Bonfiglio, who needs it right now because he's been limited on opportunities.
He's been very limited. Just the one over the top where he tried to head that, and Jamali Waite dealt with it. Looking at Wilmer Cabrera again, probably fairly happy with a 0-0. His team had more chances for me, better chances. They lost Andy Cabrera early on, so in away from home in Miami, I think he'd take the draw, even though he probably feels that his team had the chances enough to have won this match. This is where I want to see Miami really hunting everything, chasing. You've got to put in an extra shift now, because a draw is not good enough in my opinion.
Danko with a two-head shove of Avila. Bill Hamid has been quality tonight in goal. Massive stops across the board in the first and the second half against this El Paso attack. And they've been frustrated by the veteran goalkeeper. The night's getting old quick. El Paso can't afford a draw. For Miami FC, they want something in the win column. Last W for Miami was June 18th.
Wow. It's a long time to go without a win. If they go without a win here, even the 1 point, as we say, it's just not going to be enough. Then you've got to start beating Lou City at home. Now, there's not many teams that beat Lou City. I think they have one loss all season.
That's right.
Then you've got to go away to Indy 11 on the road. You've got to go away to Loudoun United. This is where they have their best chance.
Knutson will get to this ball. Bill Hamid with his left foot, obviously not his strongest. Miami FC flailing around their defensive end, and now they'll just have to reset. They look a bit discombobulated. Quezada. Rodriguez trying to split two defenders. He gets dropped. Gavilanes with the hands up, but he's the guilty party.
Let's have a look at it again. Nice little skills out wide there from El Paso. Now, good ball whipped into a dangerous area. Just see Chumasi getting himself into a good position to maybe attack this cross.
Calvillo is there. Ball not taken by him. Hamid stayed deep into his net. Rodriguez couldn't put anyone in white with it. Pretty good collision. That's like Romero got dropped, and a fast restart will be halted.
When they got that breakaway there, I felt Miami FC could have been a bit quicker. They had a great transition moment. There was possibly 2 against 2, 3 against 3, and then the passes between them slowed everything down and allowed El Paso to get back. Yes, they won a free kick, but not in the dangerous area necessarily. I just felt they needed to be a little bit sharper on the counter-attack there.
Put on here on the free kick. Sorry.
No shooting, I was about to say. You're 40 yards out, please do not shoot. You've got big Knutson there. And just Dion Veron, just get it on his head.
Bonfiglio still in this match. Veron, good chip to the right-hand side. The header, Knutson was there, but body contact inside the 18. And it goes against Miami.
It's going to work the clock out for the last 8 minutes plus added time.
Club this year that has surrendered 25 goals on the year. But they've been pretty good defensively against Miami FC. Largest reason for that is they have the advantage in possession. It's without Andy Cabrera. DeRoma. Pretty good wheels on him. Danko keeping pace though. Big versus small there. DeRoma tried to go around him, but Miami FC was able to fight that off. Possession being lobbied around. Chumasi to Ortiz. Ortiz, one of the acquisitions of the last couple of years for El Paso, just changing the overall complexion of this organization. Gavilanes. He gets dropped. Whistle and a foul.
Question marks there from the El Paso players, Casada in particular, saying, really, was that a foul? Well, they need to take it quickly now, Miami. Well, they can't because they're making a sub.
Michael Lawrence will come into this match. Gavilanes will be replaced. Lawrence has played sparingly throughout the year. But Gaston Madoni not taking any chances. Gavilanes has played it to the max. Lawrence, a big body, making his 7th appearance of the year for Miami. Filio tried racing to it, but he was labeled offside anyway.
If you want to be a hero, Michael Lawrence, what you have to do is score the winning goal here that could change the entire season for Miami FC. They just need someone to step up here. You would think Bonfiglio is the most likely option, but just hasn't had any service, and maybe they've marked him very tightly. I think you've got to give El Paso some credit here for watching that target man. And that's when somebody else has to take advantage of the little bit of space afforded by all the concentration being on Bonfiglio.
Milano with a nice move. Milano trying to turn the corner, but he was fought off. Chumasi with the fine play mirroring him.
Mikey, you, Mikey, you.
Romero will take this throw in. As you hear Gaston Madoni talking about Michael Lawrence. Mikey, you got it. There's Michael Lawrence.
Long throw coming into the box, you would suspect, after all this changing as to who's going to take the throw. And the assumption is that Michael Lawrence has a really good and long throw.
Late season addition last year for Miami. Lawrence with a high lob. Chumasi there. Lawrence gets it back. The lob, no. Third crack, no. A good delivery from Lawrence. Tried to stay with it. Possession goes back to El Paso.
Good block from Lawrence there. Long throw in, and then, as you say, a couple of attempted crosses, and then blocks it. Keeps El Paso under pressure.
Miami's next match is against Lou City. It is here at Pitbull Stadium, but Miami FC only has 3 victories on the year at home. 3 5-2. On the road, 2 4-2. El Paso has been clinical tonight. They've been professional. They've been unable to seal the deal. Ford. Theo. Rodriguez. Still trying to ask some questions. This one played through. Stays onside. Knutson alert to disrupt that play. DeRoma had an edge on everybody from Miami's back line.
And they get behind that back four, El Paso, which they've done a bunch of times in this match.
Calvillo will take this corner for El Paso. They've been consistent with their questions in the second half like they were in the first. Calvillo lobbed it in, but played away nicely by Miami. No breakdown there. There have been instances this year that Miami has left players unmarked in the 6, and they have punished either Bill Hamid or Felipe Rodriguez between the pipes. But tonight, Miami's been relatively clean on set pieces. There's been some scary moments. They've survived. Conclusion of this contest, we'll have our Cricket Wireless Man of the Match. We'll also have full-time stats and some highlights. Renato, who came in along with Emiliano Rodriguez. A few changes for Wilmer Cabrera, but his team's been stout. They've had little to no mistakes on the defensive side, and because of that, Miami's not been a major threat.
And when Miami have had the odd opportunity, Jamali Waite's made 1 or 2 crucial saves. One from Christian Vasquez, first half the standout save.
This one played away. Miami's going to work quickly on this restart. Cardona. Move this thing all the way back, and we'll get to Bill Hamid. Can't watch the match? Well, turn on Sirius XM FC 157. North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access on Tuesday nights. Plus your live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more. All on Sirius XM 157, the new Sirius XM app. Zarate spinning around looking for some help. Milano with plenty of real estate until he didn't have any. Short corner. It looked like it went off at Daroma, and the officials will confer. It's exactly the case. Nice ball for Michael Lawrence and company to win.
Another long throw coming from Michael Lawrence, I would assume. If you can get a flick on from these long throws, once the ball's flicked on, then anything's possible, because it's very difficult to defend flick-ons at the near post.
Short,
after
though.
all that, he goes short.
But on. Spoiled it, and this goes right to Jamali Waite. Just a bad giveaway. No thought in that process for Miami, a wasted possession.
Yeah, if you've got a good throw, then get it in. Get it into the mix. Don't try and play it short and lose the opportunity as they did there. It's frustrating for Miami FC. They haven't created that many chances, but they'll look at the penalty incident, I'm almost certain, after the game and say, hey, we think that was a penalty. Referee didn't see it, and with the benefit of a number of replays, it looks like it could have been a penalty. And they'll point to that as the moment where they should have scored and won the match. But overall, you've got to, as we see 6 minutes at a time, you've got to think that El Paso had by far the better opportunities and probably deserved to come away with more than just the 1 point.
These are agonizing moments for Miami in the closing stages. Daroma beats down one defender. Miami FC trying to hold serve on the defensive side. Ball stays in, though, for El Paso. They're looking to operate with some numbers. Ortiz, one move, a second. Chumasi. Quezada played on caution tonight, and he's been sound. And this thing will skirt away, and it'll be a goal kick for Miami FC. Now we do have one player for Miami that's hit the deck. Mondo Moreno will be subbed out. Moreno was fantastic here. I thought, as important of a cog that El Paso has with him in this machine, Moreno did his part. All they could not do was finish.
Got a great chance through one-on-one against Bill Hamid, and once again the goalkeeper came up massive, as he has done all game. As we say, 3 or 4 saves from Bill Hamid. And if he lets any one of those in, the chances are that all 3 points go to El Paso, and he stood strong in all those situations. Fantastic performance by the Miami FC keeper.
Habakwe into the affair. First match this season he has appeared in not amongst the starting 11. A recent pickup as well last year from Colorado Springs. Six minutes of stoppage time, and again Miami just playing it back to Jamali Waite. Yes, it burns some clock, but you're a team right now that has a point when you want 3 and definitely need it. Pittsburgh has tied it with Orange County 1 apiece. Detroit still leading Indy 11 1-0. North Carolina 2-1 over Tampa Bay. Lou City 3-0 over Charleston. Hartford 2-0 over Birmingham. Check that, 4-0 Lou City over Charleston. Wow. Those teams were at the break. You thought 6-0 was bad with Las Vegas and El Paso last week. I think that's even worse for Charleston, a team with a lot of skill across the board.
Okay, it shows you how good Lou City are, and they're going to come here to Pitbull Stadium to take on a team that's only won 3 matches at home all season. Just doesn't look good for Miami over the next few games. They're not in a great position now. I can't see it getting much better unless they can do something incredible at home to Lou City, or away to Indy, or away to Loudoun. 3 tough matches, but as Gaston Mondoni says, every game right now is a cup final.
Voron. High ball, Knutson rallying for it. Chumasi speared it away.
I was thinking that free kick knocked in there for Knutson. He's 6'4", and they can't get to his head. It's not a quality ball in. I know it's over a long distance. It's a 40-yard free kick. It's a long way to be accurate, but you've got to put it in a position that Knutson can attack with his height. And instead he has to go and chase the ball over his head, and once again, not able to apply any pressure, Miami FC.
Agway looking for it. Lawrence settles it. Lawrence, a little dine and ditch around. So to give you a perspective, El Paso in the second half has an expected goals for at 0.1. This drive was blocked on the way through. El Paso has 3 shots in this half, only 1 of them on target. Miami has 5 shots, 1 on target. Expected goals for 0.08.
Not much, is it?
No.
Andy Cabrera plays 10 minutes of this game and has 2 great chances in that time. Here we go, long throw.
Lawrence into the good night. Cardona's turn. Goes right to an El Paso player. Picked up for a second. Milano tried to elude a defender and could not do so. Good play by Ricky Ruiz, holding his ground.
Now you got to box them in. You got to keep all these blue shirts there. Box them in that corner. You've literally got a minute left. Don't let them play out. Try and steal the ball and then get an attack. Here we go. Last chance for Miami, perhaps.
What can they do with it? Played into the box. Nice move, but Bonfilio was behind the play. Ball was attempted a volley to him, but there's not enough steam on it. Agway had it there and got a player down for El Paso.
Clash of heads there. Calvillo goes down. Referee has to blow any head injury. Immediately has to see if medical staff is needed.
Oh, and a booking for Voron.
Was he booked already?
He was booked already. If that is him, then yeah.
He's now realizing it,
red.
yeah.
It's exactly the case. So for the second time in as many matches, Miami FC has a player sent off to the locker room on red.
I didn't see, I'm assuming he must have used an elbow there, because if it's a clash of heads, that's all part of the game. If it's an elbow into the side of the head, different story. He's shaking his head, but he didn't argue too much, so maybe it is the elbow that made the contact. But just hasn't gone right for Miami FC. Let's have a look. Yeah, he's dropped that elbow right on his head. It's.
But you're using your arms to jump.
Yeah, if he knew what he was doing, he brings it down to where he knows the player's head to be. His argument would be your argument, which is, hey, I was just going for the ball, but it did seem like he might have known where that elbow is, and it moved downwards into the face. If it was just there and the face comes to the elbow, it's one thing, but it moved the elbow into the face. But it's very gray area. Referee decides it's worthy of a yellow. I don't think he realized at first it was a second yellow. Maybe he wouldn't have given it. Elton Garcia, he gave the yellow and then took him a couple of seconds before he went and grabbed the red card.
Interesting match for our lead official tonight. Rodriguez gets it back, tapped, could not get to him. And Miami FC will escape down a player, but with a point. We've reached full time here at Pitbull Stadium. Jamali Waite with another clean sheet on the season. That'll be number 3 for him. And for Francisco Bonfilio, not a lot of special moments for him. All in all, Miami FC at least grabs something. It's better than nothing.
It's better than nothing, but they needed all 3 points. But up against a very good El Paso side, which Wilmer Cabrera has put together fantastically. So, yeah, they'll take what they can, but now the Luz City match coming up next becomes a massive game for them.
Cricket Wireless man of the match. It can't be anybody else other than Bill Hamid, right?
Brilliant. Not once, not twice, not 3 times, probably 4 times he has made critical and crucial saves to keep his team in the match.
He is the Cricket Wireless man of the match. Congratulations to Bill Hamid of Miami FC. Shots in this match were even at 8 apiece, but El Paso had 4 of them on target. Bill Hamid kicked out all 4 of them. Miami grabs a point. They now move the record to 5-9-5 on the season. Good for 20 points. So we got full-time stats, we got full-time highlights, and a whole lot more around the corner. Christian Sordo had his opportunity to score, bid, and he was bitten off by Bill Hamid, who was large on the night. Miami FC and El Paso were scoreless draw.
Kia is loaded with over 500 new Kia models in stock now. Test drive a new 25 Kia Sportage today. Doral Kia. Drive for less. Drive Doral.
Win the streak is now up to 7 for Miami FC, but they capture a point. With Gary Bailey, I'm David Gascon. Dalton Knudsen sending some autographs right now. Miami FC and El Paso play to a scoreless draw. Gary, got some full-time highlights in this thing as we've come to a close.
Well, it's going to feature Bill Hamid most of the time, I would think. Andy Cabrera through early on. Goalkeeper makes a fabulous save. First couple of minutes of the match, and then shortly after that, Andy Cabrera gets another chance from a corner. More pressure from the visiting side. Free kick put in there, and it was Chumasi who just heads that over. There wasn't much that Miami FC could do. It was all one-way traffic. Amanda Moreno through here. In on goals. Who stands big and tall once again? Post from Beto Avila, and that was it.
Outtown scoreboard now sees us with a couple different teams making some moves. North Carolina in front of Tampa Bay 2-1. Rhode Island and Loudoun United played full-time. Match was scoreless. Pittsburgh and Orange County, that was earlier in this week. Lexington over Phoenix Rising, but all in all, a bunch of teams trying to make some moves as we dwindle down the rest of the regular season here in USL Championship. Lou City is the top dog. They are the pace car right now. Miami grabbed a point, still on the outside of the playoff bubble looking in.
The problem is with Lou City at home and then Indy away, Loudoun away, they might not pick up a lot of points, and Birmingham could jump above them, Tampa Bay Rowdies, and suddenly they are adrift of that 8th spot. As it stands, they're only 1 point behind Rhode Island and an 8th place in the playoffs.
The good news for Miami tonight, they weathered the storm of El Paso's offense. They get Bolo Akinyote back next week. They lose Dejan Veron because of the red card. For my broadcast partner, Gary Bailey, and our entire crew, this is David Gascon saying so long from Pitbull Stadium. Hope you enjoyed this one. Miami and El Paso played to a scoreless draw.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.